You're welcome to sit down. My knees kind of bother me, so either way. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to stand anyway. It's just my knees bother me.
Regular board meeting number 812, Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 at 5 p.m. And our first order of business is Pledge of Allegiance to Northside Huskies. Please rise and remove your headgear. Flags over.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Thank you guys. That was next up, we have the trustee oath. And this is going to be administered by Kelly, our board clerk.
If I did, I'll just come to you.
So if I can have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do swear or affirm that I, Rochelle Hutchins,
I do swear that I, Rochelle Hutchins,
support the Constitution of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho,
and that I will faithfully discharge all the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge all the duties
of the office of trustee of Lake Conroe School District number 84
all the duties of the office of trustee of Lake Conroe School District number 84
in Bonner County, State of Idaho, according to the best of my ability.
in Bonner County, Idaho, State of Idaho, according to the best of my ability. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Rochelle. You are officially a part of the board now.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Next up, we have the approval of agenda. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as published.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. And next up, we have Northside Elementary School presentation.
Hey, thank you.
Colleen.
Perfect. Good afternoon, Board Chair Lonnie Williams, Vice Chair Dave Demers, Trustee Wood, Trustee Williams, and Trustee Hutchins. Thank you so much for having us today. We wanted to highlight a new program this year at Northside Elementary School that we believe will have has had a large impact on student achievement, specifically in the area of math. Yay! So, I would like to begin by introducing our amazing math interventionists. We have Andrea Kish, Jamie Parnell, and Nellie Shadle. And the student presenters, or should I say student teachers today?
Henry Wilson, Olivia Gall, Weston Esponja, Madeline Bauer, Cesar Pettifentina, Jenny Rose Taylor.
And I'm going to let Mrs. Parnell come on up.
I can do it from here.
Oh, okay, okay, great.
So we use math and Acadian's assessments to help identify students that may be struggling with math concepts. We then provide strategic, targeted instruction to help with those mathematical concepts. We follow the Math Catalyst curriculum that helps bridge those gaps. And then we provide those instructions 4 days a week with hands-on tools to help reinforce those learning strategies. And then on Fridays, we have Math Fluency Friday.
Fantastic. And so our mission
is just to support our students by intentionally teaching foundational math skills in order to foster confident mathematicians. Speaking of confident mathematicians, 85% of our students made their fall to winter growth goal on their math assessment, which is the measure of academic progress, which is a nationally normed assessment. That's pretty exciting stuff. And 100% of our students in this group has made growth on their Acadience assessment, which is a district assessment. So we're seeing it in numbers, but you get to see it in person. So you are going to get the chance to be taught by our student teachers. So we have a combination of first graders, second graders, and third graders that are gonna come and teach you a little bit. So let's walk out. Come on.
I'm gonna let you start right away, right when you get there. So we're gonna give you,
Just gonna have to move those computers.
Uh-oh, I have homework here, huh?
And yep, you do.
Good luck, Scott.
Here you go. Here, you two
Also, I
girls.
just got sweaty really quick.
So come on, girls.
Yeah.
Do you want us to wait?
Yeah, I say start right away. I start talking. Okay, there you go, girls.
What do you got, buddy?
Okay, come on, Weston and Madeline. Okay. Here, Madeline. And here's for Weston. There's Madeline, I'll just have you start and then I'll let my husband take over. Okay. Hey, Saoirse. Here you go, Saoirse. And JJ. Here you are, sir.
Good job, bud.
I can do that. Thanks for teaching me. You're a really good teacher. Keep up the good work. Okay? All right. That's pretty awesome.
You labeling out so you keep track of everything?
All right, JJ.
Here we go. Nuts. All right, thanks, buddy. He's here. Good job.
Oh, great. Right, pretty good, actually. Our kids are 16 and they
Yeah.
That's for you, JJ. Come this way once we're done. So shut later. Just keep it because we're going to show them the.
Oh, you're doing good.
You guys see it right here with your boys.
Okay. 8 on top.
Appreciate it, buddy. There you go.
All right, just stand right here with your papers and we'll use them to take a picture.
Did you want to join in on the photo? Something behind? Have everybody cram in.
Okay. Yes, the adults too. Here, come forward, guys, and we'll take a picture.
Good job, guys.
All right.
Wait, you guys have to get all sugar. These are to share. Okay?
All right, I know we clapped, but I really want to say thank you for letting my students come and engage you today. And thank you to my families for bringing these students in so they can show off all that they know. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Northside. Next up, we have Kootenai Elementary School.
I don't know what it could be.
See you there. All right, take it away. Yeah.
Thank you, Chair Williams, members of the board, Dr. Meyer. Thank you so much for having us here this evening. I am Mrs. Bycandy. I'm the principal at Kootenai. And this year we have added a new thing to Kootenai called the KPN News. This is something that Mr. Dickinson has ran with, and it has really turned out to be great. So I'm going to hand it over to him and let him tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Bycandy. Thank you, board members, trustees, and appreciate being here tonight. KPN News was created to give our high character sixth graders, these guys here, an opportunity for student voice and leadership within our school. We wanted students to have ownership in sharing information, celebrating successes, and helping shape our school culture. And if we're being completely honest, Mrs. Bycandy realized, and myself realized, that students would rather watch these guys give the announcements versus us every day, right? So it made a lot of sense to us to do that. So we have, of course, some of our amazing KPN News team members, sixth grade students who each took turns on the KPN News here. They're going to tell you a little bit more about what we did as a team, and they'll also introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Brig. The KPN News helps promote a positive school culture by sharing kind messages, celebrating teamwork, and showing what makes our school a great place to be. My favorite thing about the KPN News was probably just I like making videos that everyone can love and enjoy, mostly because I was on it. But in realness, it was a fun experience.
Hi, I'm Parker. The KPN News keeps students and staff informed by sharing important information about upcoming events, the weather, school-wide programs, and things happening in the classroom. My favorite thing about being on the KPN News was overcoming my fear of public speaking while taking the videos. Hi, my name is Skylar. The KPN News helps remind students about our expectations and ways to manage behavior by modeling positive choices and sharing helpful strategies. My favorite part about being on the KPN News team is having opportunities to hang out with new people.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. The KPN News highlights student success by celebrating achievements in academics, behavior, and other accomplishments across our school. My favorite thing about being on the KPN News team was that before I started all this, I was not really open into meeting new people, but now I am very social and I have a lot more friends than I used to.
Hi, my name is Maureen. The KPN News builds connections between staff and student so that the students can learn more about the people that help them favorite part about being on the KPN News was getting to hang out with all these lovely people while we were preparing this for you guys.
Hi, I'm Corbin. The KPN News showcases students' talents like artwork, highlights athletic accomplishments, and even recognizes achievements of high school students connected to our staff. My favorite thing about the KPN News was making my friends, my classmates, and my school laugh.
These are Canadian. Yes. So next we want to show you a little highlight video put together just over the course of the year. We had a lot of great highlights, so it was hard to fit it into a short little deal here, but hopefully you guys enjoy.
This is KPN News, your trusted news source for Kootenai Elementary.
I am Harper.
And I am Sophia.
And this is KPN News.
It was a spectacular day with amazing costumes and pumpkins galore. Let's take a look at some of the highlights and the many memories that were made.
Families gathered to play bingo and enjoy some pizza, and win fun and awesome prizes.
Did you know that this week is Read Across America Week?
It was awesome seeing everyone, plus it was a great fundraiser for Kootenai Elementary students.
It is terrific to be a pirate.
KT, our brand new pirate mascot. KT brought lots of energy and pirate pride to the celebration.
What is your nickname?
Katie, the fun office lady.
What is your least favorite thing to clean up?
There's a lot of probably puke spider. It's gonna take like a lot of feet of snow.
What's your least favorite thing to make?
Probably sloppy joes.
If you could have the power to turn invisible or fly, which one would you do?
I was just thinking about that.
Hey, Kootenai Pirates, I'm Greg and I'm here with this week's sport report. Miss Gray's son, Kale, won 2 state relay titles. It was an amazing performance. Let's go, dog!
He just posted a perfect 6-0 record at the River City Duels. He won 2 of his matches by pinning his opponent.
Dance studios and cheer teams from the area performed in front of a big crowd of family and friends.
These pirates helped lead their Sandpoint Future team to a very successful season.
Miss Howard's son, Owen, was a member of Clark Fort's high school basketball team.
If you were to choose between a superhero and a villain, what would you do?
The superhero because there's Wonder Woman, so I like her.
What is one of your favorite lunches here?
I could say the hot dog.
The hot dog is pretty good. Do you have a hobby?
No. We can't wait to celebrate all your hard work and good behavior.
And eat deviled eggs and chill.
I wonder what Mr. Riley's gonna wear.
That we all can enjoy. When you were a kid, did you want to be a superintendent when you grew up?
No way. No way.
Chicken nuggets.
This is the spinning cup.
So, do you like math? What's your favorite number?
6, 7.
No!
What about me?
Mr. Haley tells me everything. His best friend. Here's what she says. Perfect.
this week's weather report.
Eat bananas.
Show me your guys' best running face.
Rocking my jumps! Look, Millie, I got some dance moves too. Yeah! Hey, yeah! What dance?
It looks fantastic. I can't remember who said that they got over their fear of public speaking. Was it you? Yep, you've done it very good. Job at it. Couldn't even tell that you had a fear of public speaking. So you guys are doing great. Good job, you guys. Yeah.
Who does all the editing? Nice job. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it's fun. It's also kind of a hobby of mine to make videos. I've got a few others out there. These are the best, though. But it's fun. It's fun because these guys are involved in it.
Yeah.
It's rewarding.
That's cool.
Do you guys have any other questions?
No.
Well, guess what? Oh,
I have one question.
Merce?
How much did you guys make on your fundraiser that I helped you with at one time?
Oh, the question for a cause?
I don't remember the total amount, but what I can tell you is that we did feed 35 families, and we still have $14,000 left over into the future year.
Our last thing is, since you guys had a chance to ask questions, we want to have a chance to ask questions. We're always looking for content on the KPN News, and we're always looking to educate our school. And so we're going to do a quick little deal here where we film these guys do a quick intro, and then we're going to ask each one of you one question. Okay, each one of them has a question prepared. So we're going to come around and film you, and then we'll be on this next episode of the KPN. Okay, great. Okay, Corbin, do you want to? So you guys back there, please keep it down. No photobombing, please.
Yes, you did. I think that was perfect.
All right. Corbin, you ready?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Hello, Pirates. We are here at the Lake Penderey School District Board meeting. Let's meet the school board members and Superintendent Dr. Meyer by asking each of them a quick question to learn a little bit more about them.
Okay. Now we're going to come over and do our question.
All right.
Okay. Harper, are you ready? Let's see here. I'm going to go, I need to get on this side so I can see both of you guys. Yeah, we need a Mike Corbin. You have it. There you go. You got to take care of that. Yep. Okay, Corbin, or excuse me. Okay, Harper, go ahead.
Trustee Chair Williams, what inspired you to become a school board member?
Growing up in this town and being part of public school system, I was passionate about being a part of this and giving back to the community and trying to continue the growth and the success that we've had. I'm very happy to be a part of it. Great, thank you. Oh, sweet.
Trustee Vice Chair DeMers, what's your favorite part about serving on the school board?
Getting to see all the things that are going on in all the little schools, like you guys coming and presenting things to us that I and then going around to all the schools and helping out. I think it's awesome. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Trustee Williams, what advice would you give elementary students to help them be successful?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say have fun, find good friends, and just do your best at whatever it is that you do, whether it be math or basketball or the flute or art. Put in the extra effort and just do that.
What do you think makes a school great?
The community, the students, the staff, everyone coming together to make education fantastic for everyone involved.
Fuzzy muscle. What is one of the biggest challenges of being a school board member?
I would say, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a big challenge, but it's super rewarding because I get to see you guys in here all the time. Probably some talking to the public sometimes, but you guys are already getting some of that done, right? Learning all this stuff. So I would say it's more rewarding than challenging, honestly. So yeah.
Here's your mandatory sticker.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Superintendent Dr. Meyer, what is one thing you are most proud of in our school district?
The students, which you guys just demonstrated tonight in Northside before you. But if you look at our mission up here, every student, every day, the students every day are just going past our expectations and beyond. And they just make us really proud to be doing. I think everyone kind of said the same thing, but it really revolves around the students. So thank you. You've done a wonderful job.
Perfect. Good job, Derek. Oh, yeah, that's right. We better start with
Y'all are taller than me. You also think we're running back? Yeah, that's probably my shoe.
How you doing?
I'll get it back.
All right.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Tomorrow, we'll get together and have some
Sign you up to talk.
Yours was amazing.
All right. On to our next item of business. CFO Brian Wallace again.
Yeah.
Good luck following that. Have fun talking about numbers after that. Careful.
That would be a good video.
That would be good.
Chair Williams, member of the board, Trustee Hutchins, nice for the first meeting, Dr. Meyer. The finance report this month is going to be a little bit larger because we're getting close to our budget hearing. So the first slide's a little different. So first, just so the timeline is next month we'll have the formal budget hearing and adoption. And I have a little bit of information on what's going to be presented in June. give you a heads up, as we go through the process the rest of this month, and you truly have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and we can go over the numbers. Really, with this budget year and the legislature being flat, we're trying to keep our head above water and sort of maintain programs is really the goal. But, you know, the budget really does, and next month you'll see a lot of numbers, does address our strategic plan. So when people say, well, do the numbers really line up? If you knew how to look, yes, they would. And so first, you know, a big part of our strategic plan is to really start addressing facility needs. And so next, you know, it's going to be breaking ground this summer on the Sandpoint Middle School renovation project, $18.5 million. And so really the budget is the $17 million we received from Fund 440, House Bill 521 they call it. We have that in Fund 436, but that's where those dollars are residing and then getting interest. The rest, that bond funding didn't do it all, so we also did the school facilities funding, which is a different pot from the state, and that's going to supplement that. But that will be the biggest capital project the district's had since we built Kootenai Elementary, I believe. So this is a pretty big deal. It's not going to be a new building, but it's going to really extend the life of Sandpoint Middle School for 25, 30 years, really take care of some, the HVAC, the electrical, the heating, a new roof, and there's going to be new spaces too. So it's going to be a pretty neat project. Also, in the budget, the CTEC building will finish. We'll have some expenses in July and August, which are next fiscal year, so that will be part of the budget. And of course, the groundbreaking will be in September is when we're going to have the grand opening. Again, on our strategic plan, real important to keep quality staff. And so, as we always see every month, that salaries and benefits are the #1 thing that we spend out of our operating budget. That really, our general fund is going to focus on compensation and benefits. The big challenge is that health insurance went up 19.5%, which is, that's the biggest increase I've seen as the finance director. I'm an old guy. So that's been a challenge. We've worked with our health committee and the association on ways we can tackle that. We're taking on a lot of the increase, but we're also adjusting some parts of our plan to help mitigate the cost that was sort of necessary. Hopefully we won't see another increase like that, but that's a pretty big deal, honestly, as far as just on the fiscal side. On professional development, just to know that we're maintaining our instructional coaches, that those programs are still in place, with the new curriculum adoption, those things are still going to be there to help support our staff. Student connection, these again are maintaining, we're maintaining extracurricular activities, maintaining our Chromebook replacement cycle, curriculum purchases, the textbook adoption will continue. And so we're really trying to maintain, possibly, I don't know how our neighbors are doing. I haven't had a meeting with my peers, but I'm sure on some of the impact, we're in a pretty healthy fiscal spot where we're able to sort of ride the storm, and where other districts, maybe have to make some tougher choices depending on where they're at. So the next slide. So this is just to give you an example. So you can see 10 years ago, we were not in such good fiscal shape. This is our fund balance. So this is just our general fund, but our general fund, we ended last year at $22.4 million in our general fund balance. This year, I'm guessing we're going to be relatively flat. Don't hold me to that. Could be a little bit on one side or the other, but I think we're going to be pretty flat. So that's good news that we're sort of starting from a good spot. If we move forward, though. Oh, I'm sorry. And this is part of building the budget, so that's sort of going to be around the starting place. As we move forward, the first thing we look at when building a budget is our enrollment. And so I'm not putting our enrollment in here, I'm putting our funding units. If you think of funding units, the way the formula works, think of a unit as a classroom. And so this year we're funded for 191.46 classrooms. We're going to budget only 189 next year, so a slight dip in enrollment. And that's some of our small elementary classes that have been happening. we think that's pretty solid. Hopefully maybe we'll earn a little bit more. And some of that isn't just how many kids you have, it's also attendance. And our attendance rates are good, so there's some variables there. And just so your perspective, each unit is roughly for next year will be worth about $165,000. So if you just up one unit, that's a good thing. You're down a few units, then it's like, ouch, right? So we try to be as close as we can to what we think is going to happen. And so what are the impacts in the general fund for next year? First, on the revenue increase, we're going to see about almost $450,000 likely of revenue increases from a little bit of salary-based apportionment and the dollars that the state gives us for medical benefits. So, you know, we did get increased revenues for that. Unfortunately, 19.5 points to 5% increase is about $1.5 million. So the $400,000 is quite tough. So every year, we always look at things, you know, at the general fund. We look at expenditures, and it's just not static. We're taking a look at staffing. We're looking at where the enrollment bubbles are and how you have to move stuff. And is there a way that we can possibly not replace a position that's leaving, maybe through retirement or resignation, and still maintain the program to save some dollars and be more efficient or shift positions around. And so because of those staffing adjustments, we're saving probably about $685,000, $604,000. Some of those, like 15–20% of that is at the district office level. There was a position, a resignation a couple months ago. Actually, my department decided not to fill it. So we're not impacting the current job, but we're just not filling that, and we're going to adjust some of our duties. And that's a process that LPO did before I got here, that we're continuing, and we do that at district level, the school level, just that we know that we have to right-size our program and make adjustments every year. You just can't roll budget from year to year. And then the Department of Justice, remember I asked the department heads to reduce their spending, not on staffing, but materials and supplies, services by 5%. And so that's the savings there of them looking at their budget and where they could make some cuts, right? So those are some savings there, but then you look, we have staff on salary schedule, so if you're a step 1 teacher, you need to go to step 2, there's a little bit more money, so those are costs there. We'll have a COLA increase across the board, likely for search, classified, and admin. I think you guys are looking at that later today. But the health insurance increase, that's the district cost. I said it's about $1.5 million. But the district cost is going to be about 1.1 because of those adjustments to the plans where we're getting some of the other savings. So it's not really, it's just changing right. And then there's some federal funding that has been reduced. That just can happen. You never know how the allocations are going to go. Some of those funds are done by a state formula, and so if other districts' numbers in census data go up or down, it's sort of like graded on a curve, and so you may go up or down. So we are taking a little bit of a hit there, and we're funding with federal funds now, but it'll be funded by the general fund. And then, you know, we are going to use the general fund in some one-time expenditures next year to help support some of our capital projects we have going on. We just don't have those two I mentioned. We have like the Sago Elementary Choice Project that will be happening. So what that means, if you look like the increases, you know, you're going to see a budget I'm going to present that looks like we're going to dip in the red a few $1 million, which is not a great place. You can't do that forever. But some of that, this is planned, and we have a healthy fund balance. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you that sort of a preview of what will be in more detail next month.
Yep, thank you.
So for this month's report, it's the same graphic each time. Not a whole lot going on the revenue side. Just some state categorical funds and small local dollars that came in. The spending has been consistent. The one change I'll show if you look at the next chart. Well, the green keeps growing. We're getting closer to the end of the year, and salaries and benefits now are going to be the most of our spending the rest of the year. So this chart, usually salaries and benefits for a month are going to be, should be 85, 88. Well, that's because you see materials and supplies is a bigger chunk of the pie, and that's your curriculum adoption. So the check came in and we wrote the check, so that's for this 1 month. That next month it'll probably shrink back down. And so, again, our revenues for the, our big revenue that we'll get the rest of the year is when we get property taxes, actually in June, and we will get our final, there's a May payment for state apportionment coming in actually in a few days, and then a small payment in July where they true up on all our funding. So that's really the majority of our.
Does the local taxes actually hit in June? Or will it not hit?
We accrue it.
We accrue it in June, okay.
We receive it actually, we actually get the dollars late July.
Late July, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's
Okay.
when the county gets them to you, and but they're accrued back to this fiscal year. Yeah. And then enrollment, we lost, compared to the same period last year, a few kids, which can be typical. We're still higher than the previous year, but compared to last month, we dropped a few kids. But still, enrollment's been, and attendance has been good all year. And I'm just here for any questions. I think that's it.
I don't have any questions. Good.
One thing I just want to point out, that's okay.
Yep.
With new trustees is when you see that big fund balance with 22 million, that was intentional. The last CFO before I was the superintendent, before CFO Wallace was here, that was intentional. That was done with ESSER dollars because we have an indefinite term levy, which is another name. It's the real name for a permanent levy. And it was to extend it out so that the district would not have to go back out to the taxpayers to ask, typical levies, they go out every 2 years. They ask for an increase every 2 years based on cost of living increase and all of that, things that, and things obviously, since it was passed, have gone up. But we've been fiscally responsible and staying within our means, and we've actually gone up. And since I've been back, they've said okay, we need to start dipping into this, and we've continued to maintain, and he thinks, we don't know, but when the audit comes back in October, the October board meeting, that it's probably gonna be flat, but that was intentional. That wasn't for us to just get a large fund balance. It could be deceptive if you didn't know the intention behind that from years ago.
Yeah.
So it's to help the taxpayers to not go back out to them.
And the beauty of that levy is that it's flat, so we make it last for as long as we possibly can. Which you do a great job, so thank you, Deb. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. And next up, we have the superintendent report with Dr. Becky Meyer.
So thank you for being able to do the May report. Reminding everyone that our theme this year, Green Light to Shine, and all of the staff is trying to help each other and students, give them the permission to let their green light shine and look past their own expectations of what they think is capable. Our strategic plan with our buckets, and of course at the center of everything we do is the students. The CTEC update, just want to remind the board and anybody who watches the board meeting that we talked about improving facilities, also school safety is our first bucket. It also goes in with student connection. We had put as one of our deliverables when we got community feedback and input from students, staff, and the community was to increase the CTE and elective opportunities for students. So just reminding you that CTEC, Trustee Wallace just updated you, but you can see those nice floors there that are getting done. You can see the outside over in the top left. And things are really starting to come together. So looking forward, this is a wonderful not going to play the video, because our student presentations went long and we had some videos, but if the board or any public wants to see all of the CTE programs, this is a really short and great, it's all student run, and all the students are presenting about the CTE programs and opportunities here. There's a list of them for if the public wants to look at that. And Trustee Wallace was right. We are doing a grand opening. Students are going to be starting there in the fall, but we wanted to do it when after the students had been there for about a week so that you could feel the students in the area. And that's going to be September 15th. We're inviting the entire community there as well. One of our next bucket, recruiting and retaining quality staff. We've reported back, I've reported several times about our staff wellness program, and just wanted you to know they're finishing up. The 2025-26 wellness program was a sloth, will be a sloth this year, and so there's quite a bit of incentives that staff has participated in this year. Our community connection is our last bucket. You can see we have all of the loop here. Thank you to Shelby for the wonderful job she's doing, and all of the past loops are in that link there if anybody wants to look at them. This is reminding everyone what the board's goals are. We talked about their one trusted adult, the graduation rate, and then looking at our student achievement with IRI and looking at our math goals. Dr. McLaughlin updates the board 3 times a year on all of our updates. So we're doing our final report today for the board, unless you ask for anything else. And CFO Wallace and Director Matt Dealer coming up. So this was the timeline that we shared with the board. In March, we presented facts of why we presented on student enrollment and trends, and then the funding mechanism of how schools are funded, and then the difference in funding that had happened with the decrease in enrollment, and how that caused decreases in funding from the state, which then moves to decreases in staffing. In April, we did a facilities overview. They covered the building condition evaluation, maintenance and upgrade needs, and transportation costs for Mr. Fuller. And today is May, and we are giving you the appraisal report and any other information requested. So, CFO Wallace.
Board, so the appraisal report, this will be pretty quick, did come in. So the appraisal was prepared by Valbridge Property Advisors. They do a lot of these type of appraisals in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, North Idaho, Eastern Washington area, really sort of specialized type of appraisal. So we run with the firm that does this type of work. All this information, also, you know, if you really want an exciting nightly read the appraisal report in there. But you know, that's based on comparable land sales. What they determine is the highest and best use. They determined that if it was going to be sold, it would be residential development, and that primarily the property's value is the land on the property, not the improvements on the property. And in the appraisal report, they listed strengths. You know, it's in the city of Sandpoint, which is a positive. Your other housing, retail, and that, you know, the access is good in that area, of course, as well. No, property weaknesses, the actual improvements on the property are at the end of the useful life, so the buildings are old. And so here really is the information that they had at the front of the report, that they concluded the value is $1,340,000, and at $13.57 per usable square foot. So, you know, that's the information they have. They have, of course, the report is much more extensive with the information as far as the land sales, their methodology, things like that, if you're interested. But just, you know, our goal here was just to give you the facts and we can go from there. Yep. So if you have any questions of, you know, from me or Mr. D.
No, I don't have any major questions on the appraisal itself. I think it's important, and I want everybody to know and the public to know, and this to be very, very clear. Like, the reason for the appraisal is because it's law. We have to get an appraisal. The reason for the appraisal is not because we're selling the property. We're not selling the property. Like, it is not going to happen. I've had a discussion with everybody on this board. One of the things that was imparted on me as a new board member is you always have to think about what you are doing for future boards. And we have no idea what we will need that property for, but we cannot hamstring a future board or district by making a decision on that property that isn't what it's for. Like, that is school district property. It's going to remain school district property. And like I said, we don't know what the use for that will be, but as long as I'm here, that's not going to change.
Well, you just covered one of my points for me.
Sorry.
I appreciate it, because I'm
Thanks,
not
you guys.
speaking as clearly as I normally do, and it's hard to hear me sometimes, so I apologize. But I just wanted to say a few little facts before we close this out, is that we've been getting calls at the district office. I don't have social media, and I don't follow social media, but Kelly took a call today. Shelby, our community relations coordinator, has fielded questions. Our receptionist has fielded questions. We still have people in the community that said that they are hearing from people and seeing on social media that the board is planning on closing LPOHS. That is absolutely a lie. It is not true. That is completely inaccurate. I have said it every single meeting, and I want it very clear when it's reported out that LPOHS is not closing. Absolutely not closing, as long as I'm the superintendent and this board is here. That is not at all anyone's intention. So if somebody's saying that, that is absolutely a lie. Number two, Board Chair Williams just said, it is not for sale. This is not about making money. This is not about anyone trying to make money. This is simply going to the next one. Our job is to focus on what's best for students. The entire reason that this is happening is so that LPOH students can have electives, which are, they have a right to have all the electives that other high school students have. That is their right, and we have a responsibility to provide that. It is not okay for them to lose instructional time when they already are behind in credits most often, which is why they're eligible by law to be at the alternative school, because they're typically behind in credits. I was the alternative school principal. I know the law. We have to be able to provide students with equal opportunities. We cannot do that if they have to ride a bus to and from electives every period. It's not possible, and it's not fair. So we're doing what's best for students. It might not please some people, might have an emotional connection. That's not how we make decisions in this district. I am tasked as a superintendent to be able to be fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars. As the last report just showed you, we are. We're being fiscally responsible for all students. So that is our job, is to focus on what's best for students, every day. And at every single school, every single one in the entire district. When enrollment drops, we have less funding from the state because, as Brian Wallace just said, a support unit, think of it as a classroom. When you have less students, we get less money from the state. When you have less money, then you can have less staff. You cannot maintain the same staffing when your student number has dropped at that school. You cannot do it. I will give you an example. This year, and I don't mean to point out anything, we have had, since I've been here, we've had cuts. Every single school that's dropped enrollment has had cuts. This year, not to pinpoint Sago Elementary, but the enrollment drop, they have to lose 2 FTEs, 2 full-time equivalent of teachers. Clark Park had to lose some students. When enrollment drops, we have reduced funding and we have to reduce staffing. It isn't just happening at LPO, it's happening at every school because that's our job, to be fiscally conservative and responsible, and we only have so much money in the pie that comes from the state, as you see from Brian's report. So I just want to reinforce, this is not about anybody trying to take advantage or do anything deceptive. This is all about trying to provide the best education for every student in our district within the means we have possible. So if the board wants any other further information, we certainly can provide, but I feel like we've done a very thorough job over the last few months to provide you, and hopefully the public is watching the videos of the facts that is really out there. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Dr. I do not.
I think that covers it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bex.
Next up, we are going to move on to public comments. We do have a few people signed up tonight. I'm going to give a quick run through on some rules here. The Board of Trustees welcomes patron comments from the community. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person and must be appropriate for an open forum. Input must not identify individual personnel or students or be abusive, defamatory, or obscene. The total time allotted for public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. This is a board meeting held in public, not a public board meeting, as governed by Idaho Code 33, Section 5. Thus, no discussions or responses can occur during the meeting. Issues may be referred to the proper staff person or committee for follow-up per the board's discretion. Any complaint about the district, including instruction, discipline, district personnel policy, procedure, or curriculum, should be referred through proper administrative channels before it is presented to the board for consideration. All right. First up, we have Sarah Gosling.
My name is Sarah Gosling. I'm the current counselor at LPO, and so I just kind of wanted, building or no building, the reality of it is LPO is alternative education, and I really feel like it would behoove the board to have a firm ground in exactly what alternative education looks like, what an alternative student is. I kind of wanted to give you guys some information. So students that have alternative education in the state of Idaho are under something called at-risk. At-risk is, in our state, at-risk to not graduate within those 4 years. So therefore, LPO actually allows students to get 16 credits per year, and in doing so, allows them to actually get something like 64, I don't do math off the top of my head, but 64 credits within 4 years, so that when they are coming in behind, they are able to catch up without having to do overly much in order to do that, so that it's not as difficult for the student themselves. That's because we're on a 4-quarter system, just a quarter system, with 4 credits each, and then so each credit, does that kind of sense? Mm-hmm. All right. So our alternative students within the public, I think sometimes are misrecognized as, those bad kids or the kids that are getting into difficulty. And the reality of it is that they are just, each one of them, a human being who is in a season of difficulty for that particular part of their life. This could happen when they're 25, it's just happening when they're between ages 14 and 18. So they're going to grow just like any other student. They're going to become our nurses, our automotive specialists, our psychologists, our business owners, and they are going to come back into our community. And that's just really important for us to know. We've heard from the people who come up here that it leads to incredible outcomes. Students who once felt invisible can rediscover their strengths. They gain confidence, practical skills, and motivation. Our alternative program actually focuses not only on academics, but also on emotional growth, communication, creativity, and real-world readiness. These are the soft skills that matter far into the future, beyond high school. Right now, despite the financial requirements, the number of staff actively involved in this is getting smaller and smaller. That gives them a smaller village that they can depend upon. So alternative education, just as it is, tends to need more support than in other arenas. And I think that's why some of this, the emotion is really high. For families, having a student in alternative education can be life-changing. Parents so often feel helpless when they first bring their kid in. So alternative education offers hope. It allows kids to no longer be disengaged and brings them back into meaning again within our community. So it also benefits our community. Am I done?
You can finish your thought.
Okay. It benefits our community. This is the place where when students are supported instead of pushed aside, our community becomes stronger. The alternative school actually captures students who are going to drop out, who will be going online or going to the workforce with minimal education. So investing in different educational pathways is not just compassionate, it also makes good sense. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Rosecrans.
See, there's only 2 of us on there. Does it mean I get 20 minutes? Nope. Sorry. Okay. First of all, I want to thank every one of you who are on the school board and you, Dr. Meyer. I understand you have a difficult job at times. I haven't said exactly in those seats, but I've said seats very similar to them, and I realize you're not going to make it everybody happy. That's not going to happen, and I get that. I also have a debt of honor to my students because I told them that every chance I had when I found out that we are, okay, not closing LPO, but moving LPO, all right? This is, let me put it that way. Told them I would stand up and speak and say what I believe about the whole situation every time. I understand fiscal responsibility. When I saw that number up there, the first thing I thought was, man, I know a guy that knows a guy. I was glad to hear you say you don't plan on, I heard you right out of your mouth, the plan is not to sell the school. I also know that social media can be an immense cesspool. I've chosen not to be a part of that battle, not to say what the superintendent is intending to do, not to say what the school board is intending to do. I will look you in the eyes and tell you exactly what I think. I don't need social media. And what I think is, I think it's a mistake to close a place that's autonomous. Now, whether it be that school or maybe even there's a place of compromise. Maybe there's another one. I look at your numbers, I see what you guys are up against. I get it, okay? But I also get that there's a social responsibility. I found out the other day that I'm an SME. God, don't we love our acronyms? That's a subject matter expert. I've been working with these adolescents for 40 years. And I honestly and truly believe from the bottom of my heart that we need something. And I believe that even with these grim numbers we see, I believe, I tend to be an optimist a little bit maybe, I believe that we can do something. Now, I don't want to cast any dispersions on what your plans are and what you guys have done and where you plan on putting the school. But I'm going to look you in the eyes and tell you I think it's a mistake. And that's what I believe. I won't go on social media attacking. I'll look you right in the face and tell you what I think. And that's what I think. That's a belief that's in my heart. Not from a disgruntled teacher. I'm so grateful for what I've had for the last 10 years. I've had so many lives that I've been able to be a part of, so many young lives. And I think it's what we do there is important in a way that's different, that's alternative. I think we need to continue to search. I was a little ray of hope in my heart when I heard we're not closing that, because things can change. And I believe that if we continue to work together and not attack one another for what we're trying to do, and try to put a little bit of understanding in what we're trying to do, tough job, I get that. Like I said, I'll look you and say I don't agree, but I'm not going to dive into the cesspool of social media and swim around the garden with it. I'm just not interested in that. But so that's my position, that's how I feel. I want to tell you that, and I believe these kids are worth every single effort. At the same time, I've looked at a few numbers, and I see what you're up against, and I fully understand. But everything that we can do, and to support every one of you. Dr. Meyer, I understand that you want to provide those opportunities for every single child. I get that. But so many of the kids that we got. Time? You're not going to give me another 3? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And next up is Terry Purdy.
Hi, everybody. No, I'm not a teacher, but I'm a retired school district employee. I did not work at LPO, but I worked at the district office for 20 years, and I made a lot of visits to LPO, which I told you about at the last meeting. Like the last gentleman, I'm going to get up and speak from my heart every chance I get. Last month there was a big thing about it's not the space, it's the people. And I tried to convey to you that it's both. It is very important. The people that are teaching are alternative school students, but the space is also extremely important. What Sarah said, she said it wonderfully. Becky said great things last month as well, from the heart, from when she worked at the school and she recognizes the need of these kids. When we say every student, every day, that has to include the alternative high school kids. It really does. And I just wonder, do we even still have school psychs? Because if we do, they would probably tell you, this is not the best thing for those kids to move them to the portables. Now, I think, because over all the years I worked for the school district, we have rented many spaces. We even rented for the district office for years before we bought this building. We were where the police department is and the fire department. So we do have the ability to rent another space. If this one's not gonna work because it's falling down and we can't afford to fix it, rent another space that will work that's not on that campus. You just can't have those kids there being looked at and bullied as they're coming to and from the portables. Also, I wonder, isn't that where the teen center is? What are we gonna do with the teen center? Displace them because they can't be in the portables anymore? I wondered about that because I just read the other day that the teen center is using the portables. So I just still wonder if there isn't an option, if we can't look into it being a historic landmark and getting some money from the Idaho Heritage Foundation or somebody to help us maybe restore that building. But in the meantime, find another space that accommodates our kids, these kids that need to be part of the every student every day. So I just ask you to do that. And the other part that I wanted to talk about was just to say, without mentioning any names, that I found the minutes from the last meeting. I go to a lot of board meetings, and I've been on a lot of boards, and I've been the secretary and written a lot of
Time's
minutes.
up, Terry.
Okay, 30 seconds. I think
Time's
it's
up, Terry.
interesting. I can't finish.
Nope, 3 minutes.
I had 2 things on my, okay, fine. But it looks like only 4 people spoke last month, and I think that it needs to say many more, even if you don't give the number. Thank you, Lonnie.
You're welcome. I want to thank everybody for speaking, and I want to convey a message from myself and this board. This topic and the emotion surrounding these big decisions has led to some very crucial and constructive conversations about our programs, our facilities, and our budgets. There has also been a lot of conversations rooted in misinformation and in some cases just outright lies. At the core of these decisions, we remain focused on doing the best that we can for our students and staff. We are working to offer the best outcomes with the most resources we possibly can for all of our students. Some of the commentary that is surrounding this issue in our community is looking at this topic through a very narrow set of blinders and without all the facts. The facts that we have, is that we have a shrinking population of students at LPOHS. And this is not a statistic that we should be worried about. This is a success story. We advocate for all of our students at all of our campuses. And I strongly disagree with those that advocate for a growing population of at-risk students. It is the wrong approach to take to this. We do not want to grow our population of at-risk students. We want to advocate for our at-risk students and provide them all of the opportunities that we can, as we do for all of our students. But it's not a population of students that we're looking to grow. This is a population of students that we are looking to help and foster them through this difficult time in their life. I could not agree more than with everything that has been said here. I totally agree. That's why we are keeping this program. That's why we are pouring into this. We have many more programs and personnel dedicated to working at helping our at-risk youth before they reach their high school years. This is what has helped our community get to the point where we have Less than 50 students so far signed up for LPO next year. 39 of which have signed up for various electives that they would not have access to otherwise. And our staff is excited about the new space and the design of what is to come. As I have reminded everybody multiple times, it is our duty to provide a complete education for our students, preparing them for graduation. This includes electives. We do not have the ability to offer electives on the current campus for LPOHS. Our students now have access to so much more. And we have students that should have gone to LPOHS over the years, but didn't because they couldn't take fill in the blank, whether it be welding or shop. We have students that didn't make that leap that probably should have, and it ended up sometimes them washing out through the system and not graduating. This is going to stop that, or at least help stop that. The school will continue to do great work. The teachers and staff will continue to change lives, and we as a district will continue to provide the best educational opportunities to every single student that comes through our doors. I firmly stand behind that. I love going to LPOHS graduation. It is an amazing experience, and to hear the success stories of kids that were on a very, very bad path, some of them, and not going to make it. And now they're college bound and going to be teachers. Now they're college bound and going to be nurses. We will always support all of our students. And that is what we are doing as a board. This is a difficult decision, but it's one that's rooted in both strong fiscal backing and what we need to do that is the best for our students and staff. And I just wanted to get that on the record so that everybody is very clear on what we're doing. I want everybody to know we're not selling this. And just like was mentioned, things change. Every time I get a question about this in public, it turns into a forum, and I have people going, well, is it really going to change? Is this what's going to happen? I said, yeah, this is what the plan is right now. But we're not doing anything with that property because we don't know what the needs are going to be down the road. We don't know in 10 years we might need that facility, and it might be needed for LPOHS. That is a decision that the board will have to make at that time if that's what needs to happen. In 20 years, we might need it for housing for our teachers because it's going to be even more crazy expensive here at that point. We have no idea what we're going to need this property for, but I can tell you right now, it's not changing its vesting from Lake Ponderay High School as an owner to anybody else. As long as we are involved here, we are committed to this community of keeping that property for whatever the need is. And with that said, move on to the next item, which is our consent agenda. I want to entertain a motion for that.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Now we're moving on to board action items. First up, we have the second reading of policy 5415. And this is on other types of leave. Pick it up here in a sec. The only change we have is bottom of the first page. Yep. Does anybody have any further questions, comments, input on this change? No. No. Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adopt the revisions to policy 5415, other types of leave.
I second.
Any further discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Next up, we are going to move on to administrative announcements.
Oh, jeez. It's like a race every time.
Calling in while you're
Yeah.
I noticed you just sat there like, no way.
I'll go first. Welcome, Trustee Hutchins, first off. And thank you to all of you for letting me show off my students. I'm a very proud principal mom, and it's going to make me smile all day and tomorrow. But back to Northside. So last week was Teacher Appreciation, and it was so wonderful to see my teachers be just showered with love. I brought a coffee cup because we got a lot of these gifted to us, gift cards and all the things. So that was really fantastic to see. I'm so proud of my teachers, they're amazing. We are like in the thick of ISATs. This week is our last week for our math, so I brought some pencils. I was even a proctor today, and it was really amazing to see these students show what they know on their test. And lastly, we have so many field trips coming up. It's so fun. The end of the year is so exciting. We have our 6th grade send-off. We have fishing with the Idaho Fish and Game with our 4th graders. We have waterlife discovery with our, something like that. And sometimes in North Idaho, it takes bug spray, and sometimes it takes sunscreen, who knows, and sometimes it takes a rain jacket. So thanks for letting me speak and talk about foresight.
Yeah, good.
I come with no props. I will say, while we were going through the presentation, Principal of Northside shared with me her son's schedule for joining the Sandpoint High School next year. So our counselors have been out meeting with all of the students, and they just met with the rising 9th grade. And so it's real. We've got schedules for kids. Yeah, so it's been fun. We also are sending baseball, track, and tennis off to state this week. So all kinds of fun things going on there. So wish them luck. We think we might have some record breakers, maybe something like that going on. Our last AP test tomorrow. And next week is local scholarships. We invite you to come out if you can, but that's always a fun celebration and how our community just continues to invest in our students, which is just fantastic.
I'll stay on.
Okay, there we go.
I don't have any props. So I'm Tasha Hayward, principal of Washington Elementary. We just finished up ISATs, and I'm very, very proud of our scores. And on Friday, we are hosting Cougar Community Connection. It was funded by PAIF last year. This year, I'm funding it with building budget and, well, you don't need to know, but PTA is helping as well. And it is a workshop model where kids can participate in 2 separate workshops held by community members. And so we have fire department, police department, KLT, we have the boys and girls basketball team, the cross country team, the dance team, a lot of fun workshops. And then we Google surveyed all kids except for kindergarten, and they picked their top 3, and we are able to award them one of their top 3. So they're in workshops that they want to be in, and they're just all over. If you're in the neighborhood, it's on Friday, and we would love for you to pop in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Chris Davis, the principal at LPO. We also just got done doing ISATs, and we're a big growth model school. So I can tell you right now, preliminarily, we made some pretty significant gains, especially in ELA. So we're going to be super pumped to celebrate that. I think my most favorite part of my first year as a high school principal was I got to chaperone my very first spring fling. We, as you know, have a relatively small population, and almost half showed up. We had almost 40 kids. They were so cute. They were really funny. They listened to old people music on the playlist a good chunk of the night before they realized they could make some requests. And so I was just, I don't know, it was really fun to be there. And then I partnered with my culture club, our leadership group, and the amazing Shelby. Like, seriously, if you people don't give her enough props, please do that tonight, because, whoa. She helped our group of 9th through 12th graders create a special video that kind of captured each and every one of our LPO staff members. And as you know, we're feeling all the emotions. And so it was just a super cool thing for me to present to our staff last Friday. And I feel like it came at like the most amazing time. So Shelby, again, thank you for all of your help.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Jennifer Smith, principal at Southside, and yes, we've had finished up ISATs. But I wanted to share that I'm super excited and wanted to give a shout out to Kate and Heather Loman.
We are partnering next year to bring Ready for Kindergarten to Southside and the Coquilala community out there, because they're in that weird little gray area where we're just halfway between Coeur d'Alene, halfway between Sandpoint, and so for families who just didn't know about the program or it was just too far to drive to access it, to bring that to them, we are so excited to bring that. So thank you, Heather, and thank you, Hank, for that opportunity.
Sherry Hadley, Hope Elementary School principal, and I also ISATs. We have one more grade level with one more test, and so we're excited about wrapping that up. And I've been proctoring 5th grade all through, and I'm very impressed with their hard work, and I hope their hard work has really great results. But we'll find out. Our writing scores are coming in slowly, so I think that I'm hopeful that that means that they wrote a lot and were very focused in their writing. Again, we'll see. I do want to invite actually any of the board members that would like to come to our June 2nd Clouds Ledge field trip. So it's a tradition. Our 1st through 5th graders rotate around this beautiful mountain out. It overlooks the Pack River Delta, not Pack River, Clark Fork River Delta, and it's a conservatory trust. And so 1st through 5th do rotations and learn all about different things up there. It's an outdoor education day. Our 6th grade they're the leaders for each of the groups. So they take a day of planning up there and they decide on what they're going to teach the rest of the school on that day. And so that is Tuesday, June 2nd. And I think Matt Brass is working really hard to join us because every year he has a conflict. But I would like to extend the invitation. I know that all of you probably can't come, but it would be great if you wanted to check out the lovely environment as well as hang out with Hope Elementary Schools for the day. And then I had one more thing. Oh, this Saturday is our spring fling, and it's a fundraiser. So it's a different kind of spring fling. But it's a fundraiser. It's at Hope Elementary School. We have a yard sale, a bake sale, plant sale, and a great lunch, pulled pork lunch. And 6th graders are also, they have their own crafts that they're selling and different things that they're doing for their self-work trip that's at the end of the school year. And that's all I have.
Nope. Okay. Jen by Candy, so just all things ISATs. We just finished our last ISAT today. Scores are rolling in. That's exciting. We currently have a Mira going this week and next week. And so it'll be exciting to see those scores come in. Just to report on our fundraiser, last time we were talking about that outdoor structure, we needed $24,000. We did raise $18,000, but we did have some pockets that we were able to pull from. And so that has arrived and is due to start getting installed on June 5th.
Nice.
I just wanted to update the board on some things that are sort of going on with special services, but sort of in federal programs. So as a district, a state requirement is we have what's called the General Supervision File Review. They randomly pick IEPs in our district and they rate them. We got 100% this year, so we were in total compliance, which is huge. Very proud of the staff, our SEC staff. I'm very proud of 2 legislative bills. One is our High Needs Fund that finally passed. It is a one-time $5 million. Districts can, per student, up to $30,000. I mean, for $30,000 is the minimum. The max is $100,000. So I'll be working with Brian Wallace. We'll see Brian Smith. We'll see if we can get some money back from the state. But this is huge because there's only one state left in the nation that does not have a high needs fund. And we've been asking for this at the state level. We really pushed for it last year. They voted it down. It's a one-time fund, so we'll have to go back for it next year, but hopefully we had a big push from directors, parents to get it, so hopefully it will stay. and we'll have the $5 million every year. So fingers crossed. The last bill is House Bill 849. This bill is really particularly important to me, and I will say Brian Smith. It actually originated from the Lake Pondere School District and talking to one of our House legislators, not the one that represents us, but she's down south. She works with a lot of special ed directors. And the bill is a career ladder bill. What it does is it allows CTE staff to actually not wait, was it 4 years, Brian, 4 or 5 years?
Situation.
Okay. Before they can move up the career ladder. This bill that was passed allows them now to move up after their first year. And then the other big part of it for me that we really pushed is for our people personnel services. So they were not recognizing their clinical industry work because just the way the bill was written, usually like our nurses, our school counselors, they come in from other industry, other organizations, and the state was not recognizing that. Through this bill, the state will now recognize it. And so that allows us as a district, when they come in, there was a gap. And so the district had to
Fill that gap.
And so it's sort of for us a great cost savings. So that is my news. It's not as fun.
All right, moving on, we are now going to be moving into executive session, and I'll entertain a motion for that.
I make a motion to move into executive session as provided for an Idaho Code Title 74, Section 206, subsection 1J, to consider labor contract matters authorized under Section 74-206A, 1A, and B, Idaho Code.
Second. Roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Trustee Wood.
Aye.
Trustee Hutchins.
Aye.
Trustee Molly Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Demers.
Aye.
Chair Williams.
Aye.
Thank you. We are now moving into executive session.